Hello, I'm David. So now I'm going to do a how to play and playthrough of Star Wars, The Clone Wars, which is based on the Pandemic system. Now I'm going to be doing a solo play, which is no different than the two-player version, because I'll be playing two Jedis. The only difference is that I have a reminder marker here to help me keep track of whose Jedi's turn it is. So let's first give some context here. How is this similar and different than Pandemic? Well, I have my little sheet here for Pandemic to help me remember the vocabulary so I don't get confused. Well, instead of a outbreak track, you have a threat track. And the game will end, just like in Pandemic, if it reaches the last space, in this case, Darth Sidious. Instead of an infection track, you have an invasion track. And this will determine which planets, how many cards you will draw from the invasion deck here when there is an invasion. So every turn you will be invading, so 2 cards, 3 cards, and 4 cards. So the more droids that come out, it's easier to move the threat marker up. So the only way you lose in this game is if your threat marker gets to Darth Sidious or Order 66. In Pandemic, as you know, same thing, outbreak, or if you run out of player cards here, in this case the squad deck. And here you don't run out of if you run out of squad cards, you just reshuffle. Also, the other way to win, I should say lose, is if you run out of disease cubes. But not in this game. If you run out of droids, you just increase the threat track. So you'll notice I have things positioned in a way to fit it on camera better than you would normally set it up. Normally the villain sheet would go here. I have it off to the side here. And they recommend that you play Asajj Ventress for your first villain, but you do have other choices. You can play Count Dooku, Darth Maul, or General Grievous. And then you would put the villain deck right here. Instead I have it right here. And each villain has 6 cards. Now these cards you'll draw one every turn. It's like the AI deck for the villain. Now the villain has a strength here of 3 for Asajj, but other villains might have a different amount, like General Grievous is 3, Darth Maul is 3, but Count Dooku is 2. Now why does that matter with the villains? When the villains are running around, they're going to want to go to where missions are and mess with you, which I'll explain in a moment. Now here's the mission deck. Now I can fit it on camera here properly. Depending on how difficult you want to make the game, the mission deck, I'm going to play the Padawan level, because I didn't win this the first time. So I'm only going to play with 3 missions. I can only imagine what it would be like if you played 6 or more. So you take the top, in this case, top 3 cards of the mission deck. And you'll see I'll reveal the first one here, which is orange, which says ambush. So let's take a look what that means. To win the game, I got to complete these 3 missions and then defeat Asajj Ventress. And I'm having trouble centering it there. Okay, so I just got to do 6 damage with assault cards, which I'll explain in a moment. When completed, I'll remove 3 droids total from Todaria and connected planets. So this is actually a good when completed. Sometimes when completed, you take damage. This asterisk means, or damage icon, that when I complete the mission, the Jedi who did the complete mission action has to take 1 damage, which I'll explain in a moment. So I place the orange on Todara right here. Then I draw another mission card. Now the third one, I won't know what it is until I complete one of those 2. So here's the next one. Now I got to do 6 stealth to complete this. And when completed, search the squad deck and discard pile, I should say pile, for Hondo, Anaka, and add him to the current Jedi's hand. So that's another positive outcome. But I want to take 1 damage when I complete that mission. So I put that on Hindering right here. Now you'll see there is a pile here for an invasion deck and invasion discard. Instead, I have them here. You'll see, just like in Pandemic, when you get an epidemic, you draw a card from the bottom deck. From the bottom of the deck, you'll place 3 droids instead of 3 disease cubes, and then you'll shuffle the discard pile and put it on top, which will, and in Pandemic you can get outbreaks. There's no outbreaks in this game. Instead, if you can't place a 4th droid, you get a Trade Federation ship that's a blockade. And then you increase the threat when you do that, which I'll go over in a moment. So let's continue setting up the board. So I'm going to draw 2 cards and place 3 droids on the first 2 planets here. So Naboo gets 3. I draw another card. Camino gets 3. And this is not good to have, like I said, if there's a 4th droid placed there, I'll increase the threat marker and place a blockade ship. And you don't want blockades. I'll explain why in a moment. Now the next 2 cards, I'm placing 2. That was Alderaan and Rodea. Kashyyyk. The next 2 cards gets 1. And on the very last card that gets 1, that's where Asajj Ventress will be. So a Coruscant here, and I place Asajj there. Now I'm going to pick 2 Jedis. And you have a bunch of different choices. Now I went with Ahsoka and Anakin because that's how the cartoon series begins, is with those 2 characters, the introduction of Ahsoka. But you could play Obi-Wan, Yoda, Luminari, Aliyah, Ala, maybe it's Ala, Ayla, I'm not too sure. Ayla Secure, and Mace Windu, who's upside down. And each one has special abilities, just like in Pandemic, where your characters have special actions. So let's take a look at Ahsoka's. Hers is that she can exhaust up to 2 cards for each deal 1 damage on your planet or a connected planet. So that's a very powerful card. And it's a free action. Normally you get 4 actions just like in Pandemic. Anakin, you can use any of your cards as if they were assault cards during this attack. Now, what does that mean? Well, that's because when you have in the deck, you'll have stealth cards, special cards that are usually 1 use and they're discarded. So that's stealth, that's assault, transport, and where is the armor? Armor. So when you attack, one of the actions you can do is attack. You either use stealth cards or assault cards to defeat droids, blockades, which take 2 damage, droids take 1 damage, or in this case Asajj, which takes 3 damage. So if I wanted to really remove Asajj here, I would need to have a combination of, I'd have to have 3 assault cards or 3 stealth. But with Anakin, I can do a combination of them. Armor, when you take damage from doing attacks or completing missions, you can exhaust one of these cards to avoid that damage. Usually you can only move 1 space, 1 adjacent planet, but transport allows you to move 2 planets. So I've had my Jedis picked. Now I draw 3 cards. So Ahsoka has an armor, a stealth, and an assault. Let's see what Anakin gets. And you can have only up to 7 cards. 2 armor, an assault. At any time, if you get more than 7 cards, say your 8th card, you either have to play an action card immediately and discard it, or discard an exhausted card or an unplayed card. So let's take a look at the actions you can do. Well, fly to a connected planet. So if you play a transport, you can go 2 planets away. You can roll the die when you attack. So if you get the lightsaber symbol, you damage enemies. So you can damage blockades, Ventress, and droids. But you can only use assault cards or stealth cards, but Anakin can do a combination. I can reinforce by drawing another squad card. Again, if I get more than 7, I have to discard. I can attempt a mission. So I roll the die and contribute cards for to get the lightsaber symbol. Now, whether or not I defeat the mission, I take damage on the die. But if I do defeat the mission, I'll take damage on the card. So what does that mean? When you roll the die, let's say I'm going to complete this mission right here. I need 6 assault. And now Jedis can help each other. So I get to roll the die first. So I did 3 lightsaber symbols. I'm taking 1 damage. Let's say I didn't have enough to overcome that complete mission. I'm 1 short. I only take the 1 damage on the die. I do not take the 1 damage on the card. But let's say I do have enough to overcome that 6 assault there. I take 1 from the card, 1 from the card, and 1 from the die. I'm taking 2 damage unless I spin armor. If I don't have enough armor to absorb the damage, then I must discard cards. If I have no cards to discard, I'm down to 0. Nothing happens. I don't discard any more cards. So your cards are in a sense like your hit points, but you don't die if you run out of cards. But you get to see the result of the die before you decide what cards to spend. So I forgot to figure out where we're starting here. So you pick a random reference card and flip it over. So Anakin starts on Naboo, which kind of makes sense. And then Ahsoka starts on, where was her card? I drew it earlier, on Coruscant, right here. So she starts in the same spot as Ventress. Now you don't need these cards anymore, although they're great for reference, which I'm going to put right here. So each Jedi gets a random start location. Now this is actually nice to start in the same space as Ventress. Now when you attack, say I attack Ventress here and I don't do enough to destroy her. She has 3 health points. I don't keep track of her health points. She just basically regenerates. She's not defeated. If I defeat her, but don't have enough to defeat this battle droid here, right here, then I take 1 damage. So if I do an attack, any droids, blockade ships, or Ventress, I'll take damage. So if I don't defeat that droid, I'll take 1 damage. But on completing a mission, you ignore the droids. However, it's a very important rule. You cannot complete missions as long as you're a blockade ship and the villain. So it says right here on page 6, you cannot attempt a mission on a planet with a blockade or villain. And now that I think about it, I hadn't even thought about this before. I don't think blockades do damage to you. It's the droids that do damage. And of course, Ventress would do damage. You know, I gotta look at that. I haven't even thought about that. So that's attempt a mission. Okay, so you suffer 1 damage for each remaining enemy on your planet. So an enemy is a blockade ship and Ventress. So each remaining enemy would do 1. So say I rolled really bad down here and I didn't get rid of any of these, I would take 3 damage. 1 for the blockade, 1 for Ventress, and 1 for the droid. So that's a good rule to look up that I hadn't even considered yet. So it's important that I can use 1 action first to remove, let's say I'm over here, and there's a blockade and Ventress is here. I would have to do an attack action to remove the blockade and Ventress, and if I have any cards left, which I doubt I would, then I can try to complete the mission. This is why you want other Jedis to be with you, because they can help each other out by playing cards. All right, so let's get started here. The game's set up. And you'll see the flow as I start playing here. So Ahsoka's going to go first, and she's going to want to get rid of... I was lucky to start on Coruscant, so I can defeat Asajj first. I could either use Assault or Stealth, but it depends what I roll on the die here. And plus she has her ability, I can exhaust up to 2 cards each and deal 1 damage on your planet or a connected planet. So I know I can play 2 to do 2 damage, but first let's see what I roll. Okay, so I did 1 damage. She's going to exhaust 2 cards to use her ability, which is a free action to do that. So I do 3 damage, and Asajj is off board. She's not dead, she's off board. And there'll be cards in here that can be drawn that will get her back on the board. There's also a card on here that will increase the invasion track. And just like in Pandemic, I'll draw a card from the bottom, put 3 droids on it, and then shuffle the discard pile and put it on top. So kind of like the Epidemics. So she's off board. Now there's a droid there. To avoid taking a damage, I'm going to do an assault and remove it to avoid taking that damage. So that was my first action, just attacking. Now I'm going to move towards this here. In case Anakin wants to join up with me, I'm going to go here. So it's a third action, and I'm going to draw another card. So I have a stealth, which is very lucky because I can use stealth to try to defeat this mission. Now that card is not spent, the one I drew. These 3 will be unexhausted at the beginning of my next turn. So now I've done my 4 actions. Now I activate the villain. So this marker is here. Is she on a spot with a mission? No, so I don't advance the threat track. So I remove that and I draw her top. So now I'm going to draw her top card. Let's see what it says. Ventress on board. Well, she's not on board, so this doesn't take effect. This is why I took her out right away. Roll the die. If she was, move Ventress 1 planet per lightsaber towards the closest mission. Then each Jedi on her planet or a connected planet suffers 1 damage. So it's good I got rid of this, because if she was on Coruscant and I had moved away, she would have moved 2 spaces. She would have gotten here. I would have taken a damage. And the next turn, she would move the threat marker if she stayed there. So it's good that she's off board. Now I put the reminder token here to remind me that if she does come back on board, she could move the threat marker, but only at the beginning of her turn. So it won't happen on her next turn either, but just for a sake of habit, I'm going to put it on there anyway. So now I invade planets. So I look at the invasion. There are 2, so I'm going to draw 2 cards. So Mustafar gets 1 droid. And Baroda gets 1 droid. Where is that at? All the way down here. Now, if Naboo or Camino would have gotten a 4th droid, then you get a Trade Federation ship, which would be called an occupation, which the threat marker would go up 1, and I would have to defeat that ship if there was a mission there. If you could also have more than 1 blockade ship there, if at any time all 3 are placed on the board and you can't place a 4th one, the threat marker goes up. So remember, that's how we cheat. That's how primarily we'll lose in this game, is you get to Darth Sidious, which kind of represents Order 66 here. Okay. Now, it doesn't say that in the rules. That's my interpretation. Now, Anakin goes. So he is there. He has 2 armor. Not very helpful for attacking right now. So if I can get over here to Ahsoka, we might be able to take out this mission. But he would have to have stealth cards, because only on an attack can I use stealth. So Ahsoka has 2. She could exhaust 2 more Deal 1 damage on your planet or connected planet. Does that mean I can use her ability on missions? Let's see if it says that. So there's a little thing in the back here. You exhaust 2 cards. The damage can be dealt on a single planet or divided among 2 different planets. Your special ability can remove a blockade. All right. Doesn't mean I can use it on missions. Or can it? It says planet, not missions. So I don't think I can use her ability on missions. Okay, well, we have a mix of cards here. I think he'll do, well, if I do 1 attack, I won't be able to defeat all these droids. I'll take 2 damage, so I better move away. Or I can draw cards first. I'll draw cards first. So first action is drawing a card. I got a stealth. Now, I could go over here to help Ahsoka, which I think I'll do. 1, so first action, drawing a card. Second, 3, 4. I'm here with Ahsoka. So I think we could defeat this if Ahsoka draws first, gets maybe some more stealth cards, and I roll lucky. So that's all Anakin did. Now, I'm playing with fire here by leaving Naboo and Kamino with 3 droids. Okay, so now we do the activate villain. She's not on the board. Let's see what happens here. Night Sister. Vanessa on board. Move Ventress 1 planet, so she ignores that, but I draw another villain card. Venture on board. Okay, ignore that. That's like the first turn. So it's good that I got rid of her. She would have done more stuff. So this is helping me out here. All right, so she didn't do anything. I look at the invasion. I draw 2 cards. Malistar gets 1. Geonosis gets 1. Geonosis is way up here. All right, so now on exhaust, I ready the cards for Ahsoka. Now, even with Anakin there, remember his ability is... Hang on a second. I think my mic is falling here. Yep, it's falling. Okay, sorry about that. What was I doing? Okay, unexhausted. With Anakin there, I can play 3. I have 3. Even on this die, though, for me to get a 3, because I need 6 stealth to defeat it. So she better draw. So here's her first card, an armor. Second card, a stealth. And I'm going to draw another card because I can have up to 7. Hopefully I can get another stealth. I did not. But I have 7 cards. Oh, I drew 3 cards, right? Yes. I need to have 1 card left to try. Yeah. So now she's going to try. Hopefully I get lucky. I need to get a 2. I only got a 1. So I'm not going to spend any cards, exhaust any, because then Anakin can try on his turn. Because even if I spent these, 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be 5. I couldn't complete it, but I do take 1 damage. I don't take the damage here from not finishing the mission. I only take the damage on the cards, but she'll prevent it with the armor. So by not spending her cards, she'll be able to help Anakin on his turn, because he's going to draw cards as well. Okay, so her turn is done. I do the villain. Okay, Ventress on board, but no, Ventress off board. Place Ventress on the... when you see a symbol like this, it's the card that's face up on the invasion stack. So Ventress is going to move, come back on the board where Geonosis is, all the way up here. So she's back in the game. And now I look at the invasion track. I draw 2 cards. Obadiah gets 1. Where's Obadiah? Up here. Keep on forgetting to look at the radar. Sereno gets 1. All right, so now it's Anakin's turn. Ready cards. Just to make sure, because this is not an attack, this is a complete mission. He's going to draw cards. All right. He'll draw another one just to make sure that's 5. Well, that's 5. Even if I roll 1, I will succeed. So that's his first action, is drawing a card. Second action is going to do the complete mission. And he definitely completed it. He is going to take 1 damage. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Ahsoka will help. 6. He takes 1 damage. He'll use the armor. He takes the damage from the mission. He'll use the armor to avoid it. So I didn't have to discard any cards because I was able to use armor. Now let's take a look at what the completed says. I forgot. Search the squad deck and discard pile for Hondo and add him to the current Jedi's hand. All right, very cool. So this is removed from the game. I flip up this one here, and I'll look at where it is in a moment. But first, let me find Hondo. Okay, there he is. And I shuffle the deck. Now, what does Hondo do? Now, this is a one-use item. Move 1 Jedi to any planet, can't interrupt an action. Interesting. The rules say in a cooperative game with more than 1 player that the player that you're asking to move has to agree to it. Okay, so that can be useful later on. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I drew a card. I did a completed mission. I have an action left. 2 actions left. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2 actions left. I can see if I go to Alderaan. I'm just going to go to Tadari right here. I'll move 2. Maybe we can get lucky here and take out this mission. But let's first see where this one is. You know what? I should see that first before I move. Okay, so the new mission. Remember, I only have to complete 3, and then I can go after Ventress. Hang on. Okay. Let me just zoom in here. Attempt mission. Okay, so it's hunt for 0, and it's on now Hutta. So now Hutta has it right here. And attempt mission, add a star for each Jedi on now Hutta. Okay, so if we both go there, we only have to get a 4 on transport. And right now, we don't have any transports. So we're going to have to draw cards and discard to get that. Right now, we're pretty crappy on that. So that means we should complete Tadara first, especially if we're going to have to be discarding cards. So that's my 4th action going there. Okay, activate villain. So she has 2 cards left. There's a good chance that she's going to increase the invasion deck. Now, she's not on a planet with a mission, so I don't increase the threat track. Oh, I got lucky. The last card, she'll increase the invasion deck. Okay, Ventress on board. Move Ventress 1 planet towards the closest mission. At least she didn't do any damage, so she's going right here. It's going to be bad. She's going to get over there, and she's going to increase the threat marker a bunch of times. Okay, so let's invade planets. Umbara gets 1 droid. If I run out of droids, the threat marker goes up for each one I can't place. Darthamir goes up 1. Okay, so Ahsoka. I ready her cards. She has 2 assault. We need to overcome a 6. I can move 2, 1, 2. Draw a card and discard 1 and maybe get lucky. But for her free action, she's going to use 2 cards and remove these 2 from a nearby planet. She still has 2 actions. She's going to draw C-3PO. Okay, this is what I needed. Okay, I'm having trouble seeing it. I gotta zoom in here. Add 2 successes to a mission attempt or attack on a mission planet. All right, so that was my 3rd action, drawing that card. I'm going to attempt it now because I have that card to use. Okay, 1 success. If I use Anakin's assault, 1, 2, so when I use my 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and C-3PO and R2-D2, that makes it 6. So I got lucky. So I spend it. I exhausted, I should say. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, I had to get rid of a card when I drew that C-3PO. I'll get rid of a stealth. So I forgot to do that. Okay. So that would have been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, I had to get rid of a card when I drew it. All right, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, C-3PO at 6. I'm going to be taking 2 damage, 1 from the card and 1 from the die. I do have 2 armor to avoid that. So we defeated this mission. So remove 3 droids total from Tadara and connected planets. All right, let's get rid of them. These 2, Naboo. I guess I'll do Kashyyyk. Okay, so there's only 1 more mission left, but I need transports. All right, so now we're going to do reinforce. I'm sorry. I did my 4 actions. This is gone. And you place both mission markers now on there, because that matters when this deck recycles. Okay, they're going to activate the villain. She is not yet on the planet with the mission, thankfully, but she will be probably. All right, this is the card that acts like the Epidemic Card and Pandemic. So let's take a look. You just do it in order here. Okay, advance the invasion marker. So now this goes up. It's still a 2, which is nice. Okay. Draw the bottom card of the invasion deck and fill the matching planet with 3 droids. Then shuffle the invasion discard pile, then place it face up on the top of the invasion deck. So her pile is shuffled because it's exhausted now. So you can see it's the villain deck is what's going to increase the invasion track. So I draw a bottom card, place 3 droids, and it's at Ord Mantell. So I place 3 there. Where is Ord? All the way down here. Now here's the danger. This is where we can get the threat marker going up. Now I got lucky. I drew a lot of planet cards. So what's the odds that Naboo is going to be drawn or Ord Mantell? Not too high. But again, it's Asajj, it's Ventress's deck that's going to determine how often we're shuffling these. Okay, so I'm going to cut the deck. And we draw a 2 because the invasion track's still at 2. Let's see if I get lucky here. Kashyyyk got 1. That's one reason why I removed 1 there, because that's where we're going next. And Alderaan got 1. Alderaan is at 3. Okay, so that is... hang on, I got to fix this mic again. apologize for the noise. This is one reason why I don't wear t-shirts. There could be a pain in the butt to mount the microphones. Okay. So Anakin, he unexhausts cards. Now he does have a Hondo, which allows him to move one Jedi to any planet. Now what we need is transport cards. And I don't have any, because that's the last one. And she's probably going to move to that planet. So I need to draw cards. Okay, let's see if I can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I got a stealth card. Second action, stealth card. I don't want stealth cards. Third action. No, I have to start discarding, sorry. For him, it really doesn't matter. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'll get rid of 2 attack cards and just stay with all assault. But then again, what does she need? She needs assault. What does it matter? Because he can use his stealth during an attack. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he'll do a fourth action. I'm not getting lucky here. I just wasted all 4 actions to draw cards I don't need. And he gets rid of that one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Because I needed to get transport cards to complete this mission. Alright, so now we do activate the villain. She's not on the planet with the mission card. So let's see what she gets. So Ventress on board. Roll the die. Move Ventress 1 planet per success towards the closest mission. Then each Jedi on her planet or connected planet suffers 1 damage. Well, at least we won't suffer damage. We're not adjacent to her. Wow. How lucky is that? She's not moving. Okay, so now we're drawing 2 cards. We could get a threat outbreak here. Rodea gets 1. Because remember, if Naboo or Alderaan come up, or Ord Mantell, we're getting a blockade, and the threat marker will go up. Okay, Bard Oda gets 1. All right, now it's a Circus turn. And she's going to draw cards, because we need to get those transport cards. Didn't get it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, she'll discard that. Third action, deal 2 damage on your planet. And she'll draw again. Gosh darn it. Now she does have her free action. Exhaust up to 2 cards to deal 1 damage. And so she should have moved 1 here to hit Naboo. But 1, 2, 3, 4. So she'll exhaust 2 armor. And remove Kashyyyk, well, Umbrara and Camino. Okay. Now activate villain. Let's see what she gets. Okay, Ventress on board. Move Ventress 1 planet towards the closest mission. So she is there now, which means the threat marker is going to go up every turn she's there. The invasion marker is still at 2. Mustafar gets 1. So Mustafar is at 2 droids. Sereno is at 2 droids as well. Alright, so now it's Anakin's turn. Anakin doesn't have any cards on exhaust, but he needs to draw to get transports. Alright, so here he goes. Don't need it. It's 1, 2, 3, finally. And then I'll draw another one. 4, don't need it. I have to get rid of something. I'll get rid of an armor. For each Jedi there, I still don't feel comfortable I need to get more transports. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. All right, so at least got one transport. And so they're sitting there, twiddling their thumbs, trying to get transports. Okay, so let's do Ventress. She is there. The threat marker goes up 1. She draws a card. And now we get a planet under siege. So this moves up to a 3. So now I'm moving 3 cards. I take one from the bottom. Ryloth gets 3. Now the deck is not as thinner, so there's a good chance here I'm going to get an occupation. So I shuffle up. I'm drawing 3 now instead of 2 because I spent so much time drawing cards, and I probably shouldn't have done that. Okay. First one, Alderaan. Okay. So we have a occupation. Threat marker goes up 1 because I couldn't place a 4th droid there. Bardota gets a 3rd. Rodea gets 1. All right, could have been worse. Okay, Ahsoka goes. She unexhausts. I'm going to have to go. Let's see, if I can get a transport, I could use it. I'm going to draw first. Dang it. Get rid of an armor. She goes 2nd. Well, I can exhaust 2 cards first. I'll exhaust 2 cards to get rid of people here on Rodea. I'll do Kashyyyk too. Okay, then she goes. That was her free action. She drew a card. 2nd action, 3rd action. She's going to attack Ventress. She only needs 3 cards. She might take a damage. In fact, she's going to exhaust. I better keep 3. She'll exhaust a Bad Batch and an assault. Just in case the die, I get 2 hits. Okay, so here I go. I'm attacking Ventress. Okay, 2 hits. I only have to exhaust 1 card. She's off board. And I take a damage, so I block it with an armor. And so she's gone. So that was drawing a card, moving 2, then attacking. Now I activate the villain. I wanted her off board because the threat marker would have gone up 1. Okay, so here we go. So so Ventress is not on board, but I draw another card. Okay, Ventress off board. Place Ventress on the top planet. So she came back right away. She goes back to Rodea. Rodea is over here. So she's back already. All right. Now we're drawing 3 cards. Mustafar gets a 3rd droid. See, things were getting really... I was spending too much time drawing cards. Sereno gets a 3rd droid. And Ryloth. Okay, Trade Federation ship, occupation, up to the 3rd threat. Well, I do have 1 transport. I think an Alderaan or Naboo is going to come up next. I should just move there. I could attack. I'll move there and spend the card. Move 2. do an attack. Okay, I do take 1 damage, but I block it. I do 2 damage, I do 2 stealth. I remove these 3. That was my second action. Okay, I'll spend Hondo to move to any planet. Now that's a free action. And then my third action, I will attack these droids because I have a feeling Ord Mantell is going to come up. Okay, I defeated it. I didn't have to spend any cards, but I do take 1 damage. So I have to discard something. I'll discard one of these. Okay. So, moving, attack, using that card as a free action. Attacking, I have 1 more movement left. I better get towards Alderaan. Alright, well, see what happens here. Ventress is still on board. Ventress on board. Roll the die. Move Ventress 1 planet per success. She moves towards here. And each Jedi on her planet or connected suffers 1 damage. Nobody's around. See if I made the right move there. I bet you Alderaan's going to... Well, Alderaan already came up. But I had to get some of these other planets here. Okay, Kashyyyk gets 1. Darthamir gets 1. Coruscant gets 1. And that's why I moved there. See, that was a good move. Okay. So now I unexhaust Ahsoka. Since Ventress's cards are going to be coming up again, I could move over there. But Sereno might be coming up. I'm just going to move 1, 2, attack Ventress. Okay, 1 success. I spend 2 assault. She's off board. So that's my third action. Fourth action, I'll draw a card. Alright, so I did get a ship. So we do have a shot if we can make our way back over there because we have 2 cards. And with 2 Jedi being there, it's 4. We could probably roll the die we need to. Now I need to get rid of something though. I'll get rid of an armor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright, so do the villain. So I shuffle this up. She's off board at least. Damn, I drew that right away. Okay, so the bottom card gets placed. We move up the invasion marker. Annexus gets 3. I shuffle the deck. Okay, cut it in half. I'm drawing 3. Alderaan, that's what I was afraid of. Another blockade. Threat marker goes up to 4. Annexus. Okay, I can't place a blockade there. Threat marker goes to 5. Kashyyyk gets 1. Well, that sucks. Okay, so Anakin unexhausts. Annexus is probably going to come up. Alderaan already came up. No, it won't come up. I got to get to Sereno. And I got to make my way back over here anyway. 1, 2, 3. I'll attack. 2 hits, I exhaust 1 card to remove them all, and I absorb that 1 damage with my actually I could have used my transport to move. Well, no, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I could have used a transport and had 1 action left. So I use a transport to go 2 spaces. I absorb the damage. I have 1 action left. I'm going to try to get up there, so I move there. Okay. And then draw any cards. Activate villain. She's not on the spot. She's not even on the board. Okay, she's not on board. So that's good. She's not doing anything. But I'm drawing 3 cards. Ryloth gets a person. Darn it. There's a Trade Federation ship there already. I'm at 6. I'm about ready to lose. Coruscant gets 1. Mustafar. Okay, I just lost. Can't place a ship there. So there was already 3 droids there. So very challenging. I don't mind losing, although I got lucky early on with the cards I had. I couldn't get transports enough, and you saw how hard it was. And look, there's 2 transports right there, and 2 transports at the bottom. Actually 3. So if I spent all that time drawing transports, now one thing that I'm not used to doing yet in this game, so when you play regular Pandemic, you're used to, oh, you better move fast, otherwise your deck's going to run. You can take more time in this. Unfortunately, though, the invasion track can get up to 3 or 4. I can see that happening. So I'm still trying to figure it out. It still was fun. And that's why I lost the first time. Is I probably should have taken more time to take out these droids and not push my luck to try to draw transport cards here and complete this final mission. I actually did worse this time than the first time I played. So I'm just used to, in Pandemic, is trying to move as fast as possible. Whereas this one, I think you got to take your time a little bit more. Well, I hope you enjoyed the playthrough. Even on the Padawan setting, I'm not doing that well, but I am looking forward to playing again. So thanks for watching. Ask any questions you have down below, and I appreciate when you subscribe and like. Take care. Bye.